Okay, hello everyone. Thank you for waiting. I think some of you been here very early. I saw queue starting from as early as like 11:20. I think some of you are very eager to talk this. I hope we can give you some information to take away after this particular sessions. Okay, so just to introduce myself, my name is Frank. I'm from the Global Engagement Office. My office actually in charge of different things from student exchange to also promotions to local secondary schools. So just to ask a little bit of backgrounds from here, how many of you are studying in Hong Kong? One of the international schools? How many of you are actually not from Hong Kong? Okay, there's also some. So how many of you are studying in direct subsidy schools in Hong Kong? Just direct subsidies. Okay, so international schools. Okay, good. Okay, so today the sessions will be simple. So for my part, I will introduce the university, and then I will introduce some of the new programs that we are starting this year, and also the admissions requirements. After that, I will invite two students. Today we will have with us two students who are also from a little bit of international background, but also from Hong Kong, to share about their experience at PolyU. So that will be the rundown of the talk today. So to give you a quick overview of the universities. So this year we are ranked 57th in QS. So I don't know how many of you are following rankings. Later on I can actually share some brief statistics. We are 57th in the world this year. And for undergraduate students populations, we have over 16,000. This number is going to slightly increase over the next few years as we have stepped up in the number of non-local places. And we got students from 59 different countries and regions, so you can actually expect a wide variety of different nationalities and also different people on campus. We are talking about full-time undergraduate students. The official medium of instructions is English, so most of the courses you will do here are actually done in English. And I don't think we need a lot of introductions. We are probably the most convenient campus if you consider all the different universities around Hong Kong. We are in Hong Kong, and this is a bird's eye view that we are currently in block, we are currently around this area. So this is our block C, and although it's a small campus, we have everything. So from a swimming pool, you can see tennis court. We have a lot of different sports facilities. We have new buildings, and there will be more new buildings coming up in the next few years. Very centrally located. So basically in our library, in a lot of our buildings, if you go tall enough, we normally have a very nice Victoria Harbour view. So if you're staying, most of you who are staying in Hong Kong, you know that we have one of the most panoramic views of the Victoria Harbour. QS ranking. So although when I advise a lot of students, when you choose a universities, don't choose based on rankings alone, because rankings only take care of very statistical part. So it's actually a recording of a few different performance of the universities, including things like research, including things like subject, what kind of subjects, including how many student to faculty ratios. Those might not directly impact what you study. But then again, if you take a look at the trajectory of what PolyU has been doing over the past few years, we have risen very fast in terms of all three major rankings in the world. Of course, the THE, the Times Higher Education, the QS, which is one of the oldest ranking agencies around, and then also the US News is recently also gaining a lot of tractions. If we just take a look at these different rankings, because they actually put consistent criteria on all universities. If we don't bench against other people, if we just bench against ourselves, you will know that we are improving very fast as a university. And up to now, we are quite well positioned among the world top 100. For students, what does it mean for you? when you look at rankings, because if you talk to a lot of local students, you might not really care about rankings, international rankings. How does it actually affect you? When a university is ranked higher, normally what will actually happens is we get better partners around the world. We are able to have student exchange partnerships. We are able to have double degree with most of the elite universities around the world. I think there's one direct benefit if you come into a university. The other benefit is after you graduate, so if you want to, for students here who will consider taking a master degree overseas or in Hong Kong, that will actually affect your choices because more universities around the world will recognize our degree. Of course, right now, if you take any universities in Hong Kong, because we have a very good regulations, most universities overseas will recognize any degree from Hong Kong. But if you are thinking about going into research particularly, if you want to do a master or if you want to do a PhD later on, I think that will actually give you a heads up that you can actually go into most of the universities around the world, one of the top. In fact, if you ask some of our students, today there will be actually opportunities for you to actually go around the campus. We have a lot of students and alumni among us that you can ask them. I think that the best way to understand a university is not from us. Of course, we will tell you a part of what the university is happening. But the best way is to understand the universities from fellow students. I strongly encourage any one of you to go out to talk to current students to ask them, what is it about, to study at PolyU. So that part of you will find that a lot of our students will go on to take a master degree or PhD programs overseas, which will gain tractions, if you have a good international rankings. So by subject, if you go into these different ranking agencies, they also put subject rankings. So a few programs at PolyU, I think you probably heard of it. Our hospitality and leisure management is ranked very highly. We are the only one in Hong Kong that has a whole hotel icon to ourselves. So that's actually a plus. And in fact, this is not only in Hong Kong. If you're looking into hospitality programs, I think we are really the top ranked hospitality programs in Asia and also in the world. Civil and structural engineering, I think that is also one of the longest standing programs at PolyU. And other subjects like art and design, which is also very popular. I hope you have a chance to go to our School of Design, which is a very unique building just down in the middle of our campus. They have excellent facilities. And then also our business in marketing, it's actually ranked very highly in Hong Kong. So those subjects in greens are actually being ranked first in Hong Kong by different agencies. So these are some of the subjects. I think when you look into a particular university, I would strongly encourage you to actually go into the subject ranking to see how they perform in terms of different subjects. In terms of research, we are also, this is actually recent studies. I think we actually just got data from this I think last week that we are being ranked third in Hong Kong in terms of research significance. This is by Stanford University. And in some of the subjects, we actually have a very high percentage of scholars, including building and constructions, civil engineering. We have the largest number of top scientists globally. This is actually the top. And then we also have the largest number of top scientists in Hong Kong in terms of energy, materials, optoelectronics, and also pictronics, and also nursing. So those are some of the samples. Not all of them are listed here. So if you are interested, there will be some information. But this is actually particularly relating to research at PolyU. Since a couple of years ago, I think right now a lot of you have been, are used to working on ChatGPT. I think you will know the impact of AI. But before, the launch of ChatGPT, I think we started in 2022 a program in AI. So right now, all students is compulsory to have an undergraduate education as part of our general university requirement in AI. So you have to take some courses in AI. And then you can also choose to have a minor in AI and data analytics, well, which called ADA, is in short. And then if you think that's important enough for you, you can also choose a major, a second major in AI and data analytics or innovation and entrepreneurship. I think these are the area that you can choose as a second major. So to complement whatever first major you have, you can do anything from marketing, you can do nursing, and then still have a second major in this subject. So I'm going to, this year, we also started something new. We have been working it, I think in the past 3 to 4 years, we have been trying to expand the selection of courses. And then for those students, I don't know any one of you who are already decided on what you want to study in the universities. If you are kind of undecided, which I ask a lot of, even like Form 5 or Form 6 students, they don't know what they want to study yet. But you have some directions. So this, in the past couple of years, we started departmental schemes. Now we expand that into a faculty-based entrance. For example, you can actually take a bachelor degree schemes in business administration. I want to study business, but I don't know what kind of major I want to do. So there's an additional choice this year to apply into a faculty-based entry. So first year, you will take a common course, a core course. On the second year, then you will select your major within that particular faculty. So that's actually a route that's new this year. If you're applying for the 2025 entry, then you'll be able to select this. So as I said, you will take a common year 1 curriculum under selected faculty, and then on the second year, you will have you can actually select your major. And the selection of the major, it will depend on your entrance qualifications score when you enter the university, and also your year 1 CGPA, and then also we'll do additional interviews for different programs. Most of the students will be allocated their preferred choices. Another new exciting features that this year that we're offering students is a small quota. So this is probably one of the most special programs if you look at all different universities in Hong Kong. So it's called a bachelor's degree schemes in interdisciplinary studies. So by the meaning of it, by the name of it, you might think, what is this? The hardest part, I think there's a lot of parents down here with students. The hardest part for students is, I don't know what to tell my uncle and my aunties, what I'm studying at the universities. That's because it's interdisciplinary. So basically what it means, this year is a totally new program. We are only accepting a very, very small quota. We are allowing initial quota of 30 students into this particular interdisciplinary scheme. And the requirement of the schemes is going to be quite high. The entrance requirements are going to be quite high. The perks of it is after a year 1 curriculum of interdisciplinary studies, second year you can choose a major across the entire university. So you can even choose things within our manpower plan programs or very popular programs. For example, physiotherapy. If you're thinking about doing physiotherapy or occupational therapy or other popular programs like speech therapy, if you want to do aviation, if you want to do a particular programs, you can go into an interdisciplinary schemes and then decide later. And then you can also, during the first year, you'll be assigned a personalized coaching. One of our distinguished professors will be assigned to you as academic advisor to give you some coaching to build your own degree. So that's actually what this is about. And when you graduate, you can actually graduate with a particular major of your selection. So basically you can, in this particular program, you can choose from all of the different majors within PolyU. It's flexible pathway, and also we encourage a lot of interdisciplinary learning. I personally go to a lot of conferences in different places. And one of the things that people are consistently talking about in the last couple of years is because of the rise of AI. A lot of people will think, is the major that I'm studying still valid after 5 years or 10 years? Will it be replaced by AI? In a lot of studies, actually shows that in the future, what's going to happen in a lot of major is that people with skills of a generalist, that means you know more than one discipline, will be more advantageous to people who only know one discipline. So in the past, there's two paths within the universities. You can actually go down the path of very specialized or professional learning. Like, I don't know, if you want to take a degree in accountancy, if you want to take a degree in things like, of course, there will be still things that will need professional education. For example, if you go into physiotherapy, for example, you have to actually study all the courses to be able to serve in that particular discipline. But if for engineering, it's good to actually supplement that with another minor or double major. So that actually comes into play that people in the future who will strive under the age of AI is those who know more than one discipline. So that's why if you just take a look, this is probably the second week of different info day. In all universities, you will find, not only in Hong Kong, but most of the universities worldwide, you will see a lot of this particular term, interdisciplinary, or they will call it transdisciplinary. So multidisciplinary schemes is actually on the rise. I think that's actually a very important concept for those of you who are here, because I think some of you, although some of you might be in your year 6, maybe you're going to enter university next year, or maybe you're going to enter universities 2-3 years down the road. One of the things that you have to imagine is when you choose a major or choose something that you want to study, you have to look not just at what you're doing now or how the economy is doing now. You have to look at least 5 to 8 years down the road, what the industry will be like in 5 to 10 years. I think that is something that you have to consider when you select a major on what you're going to do. Apart from that, there will be some other new programs for 2025 you can actually choose. One of the new programs, by the way, we are establishing a new faculty of computer and mathematical science. So this new faculty is actually a combination of all courses from mathematical science and also computer. And then we are offering some interesting new majors. In one that's actually the special schemes in data science and artificial intelligence. I think this is actually new. And we also retitled Applied Mathematics and Financial Analytics. So this two will actually fall under the Faculty of Computer and Mathematical Science. And then for those of you who are interested in architectural, this is the year that we offered architectural studies. Our Faculty of Construction and Environment, as you know it's very, very established in Hong Kong. And this year, if you want to study Archi, I think we are offering as an undergraduate student bachelor degree. And then for Faculty of Engineering, we also fine-tuned some of the programs in product innovations and smart manufacturing. So it's actually retitled, and also a rework of the curriculum. We also have intelligent supply chain and engineering management. And then we have a new program in intelligent robotics engineering. I think those are the things that you will probably go onto the news. You'll see it every day. For Faculty of Humanities, we also have a retitled to broaden out the scheme a little bit in translations, language science, and analytics. And then also we have our Faculty of Science, we have a food science and nutrition. I think all these programs we consistently fine-tune the offering of the programs to match the needs of the world. I think those are the things that we are changing this year. And in PolyU, I strongly encourage you to think. This might not be your first stop, but we're offering courses across different disciplines in business, in construction environments. I think that's just how I actually introduced. We have engineering. It's quite interesting that we have a lot of good engineering programs around here. And then also health social science is probably one of the most popular faculty. We have humanities, we have science, and also we have 3 independent schools in design, fashion and textiles, and also hotel and tourism management. Just as I said, starting from January 2025, we're going to start a new Faculty of Computer and Mathematical Sciences. So these are the things that we are on offer at PolyU. I think most of those programs, you will find that there's actually one thing that's very particular, which I will talk about it later on, is that we are offering very localized, we are always very close to the economy, we are very close to the companies, what they are needing, the need in Hong Kong, also in the world. We are offering some very special programs. Okay, so next part, we'll talk about things that I think that's more relevant to students. Once you actually comes into universities, what do you expect? Right now, I'm doing my secondary schools. You know, you might be doing an IB, you might be doing an A levels or other curriculums in Hong Kong. But in the universities, how is it like? You know, as a student, what you can actually expect from us? There are some features that we require all of our students to have as an experience. I think throughout my career in the universities, I think one of the most important things as a student that in any universities is about the student experience. When we talk about student experience, it might be very vague. You know, what actually is student experience? For whatever you study in any subjects, you might remember it. You know, maybe 2 to 3 years after you graduate, you still remember some of the subjects you have taken. But for those parents down here, you know, how many of you still remember what you study at the universities? I don't think many, right? Even for myself, I think after graduating for 5 years, I won't be remembering anything I have studied at the university. But on the other hand, what I actually remember is what I've done during university. Something like service learning. That's actually one of the things that we make all of our students go through at least once. Some students will go through it twice. Work integrated education is also a big part at PolyU. You know, in simple terms, it means internship. We make every student go through at least one internship. Some students will go through more. And then we have student exchange. I think student exchange is actually a very important part of the student experience. We won't just say student exchange, but we normally generalize it as overseas experience. So we hope all of our students eventually by 2028 will have at least one overseas experience. I think that is something that when we, especially when in the past when we talk to a lot of employer, what do you see, you know, what do you select a student? You know, is there a particular thing that you will require a student have done in a few years? Many of them actually mention about student exchange overseas. For those students who have been to at least one student exchange for one semester, you will notice that the students is very different. In terms of language ability, in terms of independence, in terms of how they interact with other people, how they work as a team. I think one of the things that will change the students, from my experience, it's really student exchange. So we do strongly encourage a lot of students. Later on, I can talk about we have actually a lot of resources covering that. And then leadership development and also entrepreneurship education, which I have shared earlier. So all this will be a holistic experience that we make most of our students go through. So work integrated education, this is actually a very important factor. For those of you who know PolyU, you know, because we are one of the oldest universities in Hong Kong. But when last couple of weeks we do focus group with students, always ask them, you know, what do they know about the universities? What do they think about the universities? A lot of them, one of the common thing that they raised is they know PolyU as one that actually very well accepted by local employers. I think we are known for students who are able to integrate into the workforce immediately. I think that's also one of the perks that being here, because we have a lot of engagement with the local communities and also local companies. So our work integrated education is actually a very important part of the learning, and we make every student to do at least once. So it's actually a graduate requirement. And these are some of the destinations, including biggest company in the world and also in China. You can see also some of the local, like Jockey Club, some of the local companies like Disneyland. We also have sent students to do. In some of the bigger names in China, Alibaba, they are also taking our students on interns, and much more than that actually. And usually, what is so special about this is a lot of our students who are able to complete one successful. So you know, of course, you know, you have to be good when you're doing your internship. A lot of students will actually get a return offer, so they do not need to worry about, you know, getting a job. And in fact, most of the students will, as I know, those students will actually get a job offer half a year before they graduate. So usually the peak time of securing a job is usually the start of the 4th year. And then normally students will look for a job, and normally by December, then they will already have one or two offers in hand on which company they want to join. And these are some of the students who taken an return offer to join, like some of the biggest names in Morgan Stanley, HSBC, BCG. BCG is the big four consultancy firm in the world. Also, local firms like MTL, they take a lot of our graduates. Service learning. Service learning is actually another biggest traditions that we hope to instill in all of our students. And service learning can be done locally in Hong Kong, and then but then a lot of service learning is actually done overseas. So students will actually have chances to go on to different places around the world to do it. And in these photos, you can actually see a group of students actually go on to service learning in Rwanda, in Africa. And then also later on, some students will actually share that he's on the team. You are not doing just to, you're not going there to just serve. It's more than that. Normally, those students who actually go, they will do things with also the expertise of their own things that they learn here. For example, when we go to Rwanda, we installed solar panels for them. So some of the engineering students actually help them to use their expertise to install the solar panels. We went there to help students, PolyU will have optometry. So that's also one area that we help students get glasses in Africa. And then you can see that we also go on to places like Myanmar and Cambodia to teach students in Indonesia as well. So most of this, while some of this will be outside of Hong Kong, some others will also be in Hong Kong as well. Global exposure. So normally we talk about it in a few terms. Academic exchange. Some schools, we also have a lot of clinical placements overseas. We have over 280 student exchange partners, carefully selected around the world. So as a student, when you come in, one of the biggest things that you need to plan when you're in your year one is where you want to go for an exchange study. So you can actually spend one semester or a year outside of Hong Kong. You can go to US, UK, or other parts of Europe, and some of the popular destinations to Hong Kong students like Japan, South Korea, Singapore, Australia. The best part of it is you do not need to pay that fees. If you're local students, you continue to pay the fees down here. Then you can actually go. And more than that, if you decided to go, there will be university subsidies and grants for you to subsidize. Normally, for example, if you go to Europe, right now the grant is about 22,000 Hong Kong dollar, which will be given by the university for you to go. So normally that will actually cover your airfare or also cover your accommodations overseas. So basically we make it that you don't have any reasons not to go. And then at the same time when you're going overseas, because it's on a reciprocal basis. So when we send one student to these universities will also send one student to PolyU. So every year when you go on around the campus, you will see a lot of faces, international faces. Those are the students from all over the world coming to PolyU for one semester. So some of the partners that are, this is just part of the selections, and popular destinations like NUS, NTU in Singapore, UNSW in Sydney, Warwick, TUM, those are very partners, long-standing partners that we have. So just now when we talk about rankings, I think this is actually one of the biggest perks that you will have. You'll be able to go on to exchange to all these universities, and normally you do not need to actually pay extra money to go. Normally students is going on embarking on a life-changing experience. It's a time for you to get away from parents, maybe. Also good for students, but then you will face a lot of different problems when you're overseas. Some places you probably face a bit of language issues. You have to stay by yourself, you have to cook for yourself, and you have to settle your accommodations, and you have to take care of yourself. I think that's actually parts that will make any students grow up faster. And other than that, we do actually also offer UG Summer Research Abroad, and then we run a very special programs at Summer at Oxford. So there will be also chances and subsidies for students who actually go to Oxford and Cambridge for a summer. And then we also run a lot of international competitions and conferences, and those are normally fully sponsored by the university. So students will actually go on these trips with other fellow students and also our faculty members. Student services, I think this is actually the part when I don't wish to talk too much because you have to experience it for yourself today since you're already on campus. So we do have health clinics, counselings, academic advisings, and also student residence. So all our undergraduate students, you can actually apply for at least one semester to any of our halls in Homerton and also Hong Kong. So we have calculations. If you want to stay, have an experience to stay at our dormitory, I think you have to start applying early. Then go and try it out, and those will be also one of the experience for you to actually know how to learn one of the most important skill, which is social skills. These are our halls in Homerton and also Hong Kong. It's basically most of the rooms are twin sharing, and there will be a lot of student activities, associations that will offer different experience. Later on, we'll also get the students to share this with you. So just quick part on the admissions requirement. Okay, so we accept most of the different international qualifications, depending on what you're studying. How many of you are taking IB curriculums down here? Show of hand. Okay, a few. How many of you are doing GCE A levels? Okay, the other half. Any one of you taking US curriculums or Canadian curriculum? Okay, still some. Okay, good. Okay, so basically, it's all of this information are on our admission homepage. Normally, for IB diploma, for most of our programs, we will require a score of 32. And then for GCE A level, normally we will at least require 3 Bs. So 3 subjects of Bs will get you into many of our programs. For IB, it's 32. But for some particular programs, there might be a higher thresholds. For US curriculums, then we will require SAT or ACT. And then if you're doing AP, then we have grade 3 or above into AP. I think this is actually just minimum. Normally, you will need to actually go for more. If you have to have a higher SAT for entrance. And also OSSD, normally 75 or above, but normally we will, if you're doing OSSD, we will require 80% and above. English requirement. So for those of you who are doing IB, we require grade 4 above your English, higher level or standard level, or English literature. And for a lot of you, I believe if you're doing IELTS, I think a lot of you are going to do IELTS anyway, so we'll require a minimum of 6 and above, and a TOEFL or 80 or above. And then if you have already done an O level, then a grade C or grade 4 above in English and English language or literature will be sufficient. You do not need to go on to do IELTS. Or if you're from an IB, do I have to do IELTS? Actually, you do not need to because we already recognize IB English. So this year, the fees for non-local students is 175,000 Hong Kong dollar. And for local students, as you know from the news, we have raised it to 44,500 per year. So this is actually the new fees. Once you go into, this is actually talking about if you enter the universities in 2025. So this is actually the entrance. Normally, the year that you come into universities, that fees is locked. So if you might see that on some websites, you'll see that this year is 44,500 for local students. Next year, they will also raise, and then on a 3-year basis, they will raise 2 years. But then if you enter this year, you're going to lock this rate for the rest of the studies, be it a 4-year or 5-year curriculum that you're choosing. So non-JUPAS route, the applications, if you're looking to come into the universities for 2025, it's already started. So remember to start an application as soon as possible. Often I was asked on any tips on application. My only tips for most of the students is to launch an application as soon as possible, because non-JUPAS is done on a rolling basis. So we will continually giving offer to the suitable students on the early basis. And most of you will be given a conditional offer. So to be given an offer to be considered, and because most programs, they will give offer until the quota is filled. So the earlier you apply, the better. So our early round deadline is actually on 19th of November. Make sure you try to complete an application by 19th of November. And then the rest, the main round will close on 6th of February. And then the last will be on May 15th. I think try to catch an early deadline. Since you're already here, all of you are very early to know this information. Just remember to launch an application. So apart from that, we have an additional mode of entry, which is a special talents. As you know, that most of the universities in Hong Kong are dishing out this direct admission schemes. So if you're applying for non-JUPAS, if you want to be considered for a special talents admission, make sure when you're on the non-JUPAS application systems, you have to click wish to be considered for STAR. Then you have to supply additional documents to be considered. So if you are also wish to be considered this way, so basically you have two chances. One is the non-academic, which is the STAR scheme, and we value students who have done things like sports, if you're on any particular sports teams in Hong Kong, arts and culture, leadership, community services, or STEM. So basically, it will mean that if you have participated in any programs offered by the universities, sometimes we also, as you might know, that our different faculties runs different competitions. If you have win some of the competitions that PolyU has organized, I think that will give you extra points to come into through the STAR schemes. If you are doing anything leaderships in community services, that will also give you a perks. So if you want to be considered, you have to tick that particular box when you apply and upload relevant documents. Entrance scholarships. So we set our bar quite high, I would say. If you are able to reach in IB 39 to 40 points, then you will be given a renewable full tuition scholarships to come. And if you can score in A-level or 3 A's, STAR and above, then you will be given renewable full tuition scholarships, meaning that you do not need to pay any fees during the 4 years or 5 years of studies. Tier 2, we have 41 and 42 renewable full tuition scholarships plus also expenditure. And then all the way to the top tier, if you score a maximum of 45 points, you can actually come in with 65,000 yearly to spend, every year. And this year, all this you have to meet the required conditions to renew it every year. So you just have to make sure that you are not getting a scholarship in here and then you are forgetting about your studies. This year in particular, all of the students who comes in on the scholarships will receive an exchange scholarship. Just now we talked about pushing students on exchange. That's also another big part. It will be a $30,000 scholarships that when you go on an exchange to any destinations, you will be given this particular amount of money. I think that's the part that I want to share.